So if you're watching this video, it's probably because you have a weak neck. You want to figure out how to build it up, how to build it stronger, but you don't have access to all that big gym equipment. So you want to know how to do this at home. I'm going to show you guys 3 exercises you can do to help with that. So listen up. And first off, welcome to Riley Rehab. For those of you who don't know, I make videos every single week helping people become the expert of their own body. And my channel is usually based around injury rehab. However, in this video, I'm going to do things a little differently and show people how they can build up the muscles of their neck. And before I get going with this, it should be known that neck strengthening is kind of controversial. It's one of those things that a lot of people in gyms are hesitant to teach. It does have a high risk for injury if it's done too recklessly. So that's why I do really want to emphasize that if you are starting out with this, I would recommend doing 50% of what you feel is your max anytime you're starting out with these. Because anybody experiencing neck pain or any other things like that can get some pain either immediately after or the day after in the form of big headaches or neck stiffness, things like that, because it does tend to be a more fragile joint compared to areas like the elbow or the wrist. That said, a lot of these can be very beneficial, and I'm going to show you guys all the progressions from step 1. So the variation I'm going to show is using the edge of a couch like this. You can do all these things on the ground, although I do find it a little easier when you have something to elevate you up like this. Take a towel, put the towel right there on the edge of the couch. You're going to take this area of your forehead above the eyebrows. You're going to keep that on contact with the towel. And all you're going to do, I'm going to show you with my hand so you can see, is just nod your head back and forth against the towel while you're in this position. So I hope you can hear me. You're going to have one hand here, the other hand here. These hands are here for support. You need to make sure that you're holding yourself up. For those of you beginners, if you already feel it working, just letting it sit there without even moving, then don't even worry about rocking back and forth. Just hold that position for about 10 seconds and then relax. But if that is okay, instead, you can basically rock forth, trying to drag the towel toward you. So it's almost like you're trying to pull that towel towards you. You're trying to pull the couch handle towards you. You should really feel this in the front of your neck. And I would recommend for the first few days, just stick with 3 sets of 10 on this or whatever you can handle. It shouldn't be more than a 5 out of 10 exertion the first few times you do this. Now, if you look at me and you say, that is way too easy, I need something harder. The harder way you can do this is instead of sitting on your heels like this, the position I'm in, you can bring yourself onto your knees, basically in a 4-point kneeling position, so on your hands and knees like this. And you can do the exact same thing, only now you can actually play with how hard you want it to be. I have quite a bit of weight on my hands right now, so this makes it a lot easier because I'm pushing through my hands. However, if I wanted to, I could take both the weight off my hands, and I can barely talk right now, guys, so I can't do this very long. I'm probably not going to be able to make a video doing this, but it does give you a big range on how intense you can make this. Basically, if you have no pressure on your hands, you're really exerting yourself, or if you have a ton of pressure on your hands, you can control it. I would recommend, once again, just going with this at a 50% intensity at first and then gradually working your way up. Second exercise is you want to work the rotation component. So this first one was basically building the front of the neck. Now you're going to build the muscles that help you turn the neck back and forth. So what you're going to do is with the towel on your head, you're basically going to rotate back and forth while keeping the pressure on the front of your head. And I'm basically just turning my head this way and then turning my head the other way. Turning my head this way and turning my head the other way. Really important you go slow on this. This does put the joints in some awkward positions, especially near the end. So you do want to really go slow and you want to feel every inch of that. You should feel a lot of pressure on your head when doing this. However, you can make it easier by using your hands. Once again, the harder variation on your hands and knees with your bum up in the air. You can do the exact same thing. Just like that. The third exercise we want to work on is the back of the neck muscles. Now these tend to be the strongest, however they are often the easiest to go through pain, so you do have to be a little careful here. The first thing you want to do is you want to just lay down on the edge of the couch with your back like this. For those beginners, I would start off actually with a pillow, something to keep that neck in a nice neutral position, and then don't go too crazy with this. All you're going to do to start off is you're going to basically imagine the back of your head right here. All you're doing is just trying to push that back into the pillow. So just like that. You should feel, if this is your head, you should feel your head going straight backwards. So kind of like this. If you feel the weight shifting into the back of your head, like the back of your head is holding your body up, that's a great sign. Now that's the first level. For the sake of demonstration, I'm going to show with the edge of the couch here. However, if this is way uncomfortable on the neck, I would recommend having something like a towel to support. The next level of this, after you can hold, just kind of putting your weight through the back of your head. If you start off with that, I would just hold for 2 seconds, relax, and then hold for 2 seconds, relax. Do that about 10 times, or whatever you feel is about a 50% exertion. But if that's too easy, the next level you can do is you keep your bum on the couch, you keep your head on the couch, and you basically want to have the weight here and the weight here, and you're going to lift up your chest. So imagine all the weights here, and there's no weight here. You're basically lifting up in the air like that, and the pressure will come through the neck in order to lift you up like that. I call this a chest bridge, and this is a more advanced version. One thing really important to know is you do want to keep your head straight forward on this. I'm not a big fan of twisting while doing these kind of extension motions. It tends to be way more riskier than it is when you're twisting looking forward. So keep your head looking forward, lift your chest up, and you should feel a good burn in the back of your neck. Now for those of you who are even more advanced, you can take your feet and basically push through your feet and the back of your head and bridge yourself up like this and then go back down. You bridge up and you go back down. Bridge up and back down. When you get to this level, you usually don't want to make anything move at the neck. You want to keep that neck nice and steady just to let your whole entire body lift up with it. When you are doing this amount, you do really want to make sure everything is nice and tight, and you do really have to monitor your pain, not just during and not just immediately after, but also the day after, because I have seen some people get some nasty headaches the next day from these. If you're like most people, this will probably be the highest level you can go to. However, if you do really want to challenge it more, you could get a weight plate and you could put it on your tummy and then just lift up even more. And you can just keep adding more and more pounds depending on how much you can tolerate. That said, I really want you guys to keep in mind that neck exercises, they are controversial for a reason, because they are a little higher risk than doing other exercises for the arms and for the legs. The spine wasn't really meant to be put under crazy high loads. That said, I am still a big fan, especially if you work your way up to doing things in a slow, gradual manner. I'm a big fan of doing neck exercises to build yourself up. I've done them for a long time. But you do have to really be careful. So I would highly stress that if you do this, it should feel like 50% of your full capacity. So if you feel like you could do 10 in a row, you should do about 5 in a row. If you feel like you're not even sore at the end, that's totally fine, because you shouldn't necessarily be with these right away. However, if you have been doing this for over a month, then you may start to be able to kind of play with increasing the intensity a bit, but you do have to be very, very careful. And also, it is very important to do the neck stretches, which I'll show in a future video, to make sure that everything is nice and loose in the neck. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please subscribe to Riley Rehab if you found this helpful, and I will see you next time.